We're sitting right here in the gym. We're probably in your heart space right now. This is the heartbeat of what you do every day, along with some teaching. But I want to talk a little bit about basketball today. We have been overcoming some adversity this year, having to go through a season or finish up a season last year in the pandemic. How are you and your team persevering through this pandemic?
We just talk so much about response, and we can't sit around and pout and complain about the things that are happening around us. We can just handle the things that we can control. And then once the season started, the same thing with our guys. Hey, listen, we got to wear masks. We have to do the things that we need to do in order to stay on the floor. And we're not going to sit around and feel sorry for ourselves. We're just going to do what we need to do in order to be successful. And, you know, we had some adversity through the middle of the season as far as a couple of cases and things. And once again, we just talked about response. How are we going to respond to this? How are we going to make sure that this doesn't happen moving forward? And how are we going to come out on the back end of this? And I've been so proud of the way our kids have handled that. And not just as a basketball team, but our entire district.
We're having a great year, and we're just so lucky to be able to have a season. You know, a lot of states across the country aren't able to have that, so it's just a blessing to be able to play with the guys and have a good time.
When did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
Definitely 6th grade. That's when I really started putting work in and you know, trying to become the best that I can be. And I knew I had a talent for it. I just had to grow and develop more and get a lot better. So yeah, throughout middle school, you know, I wasn't great, and even into freshman year, I wasn't that great. And then you know, I had a pretty good big growth spurt that really helped me in basketball. So that's probably the reason why I've gotten a little bit better.
When you have a really special player, you know, you dream that they are your hardest worker. And Isaac is most definitely our best player, but he's also our hardest worker. And he's a high character kid. You know, he's a 4.0 GPA. He's a kid that you don't have to deal with any baggage off the floor. In fact, anything that you do deal with off the floor is something that's positive. And so when you have that, and then you couple that with the work ethic and the leadership that he provides on the floor, he's just the ultimate package.
Academics are really important to me because, you know, when the ball stops bouncing for me, then, you know, I'll have to do something else and hopefully get a really good job after that too.
It's probably a once in a lifetime as a coach to get a kid like that. And it's just great for our program. It's great for our young kids to see and to be able to watch somebody so special, but also see that person doing things right.
We go hand in hand. He gives me a ton of freedom on the court to make a lot of decisions, and you know, we trust each other 100%. You know, we're always on the same page, and he's really tough on me, you know, more than anyone else, and you know, for a good reason too. We've just, you know, we've got a really good bond, and he's a great coach. I love playing for him, and it means a lot to be able to rep the Islanders here.
You know, he talks a lot about the character of an athlete. What keeps you grounded?
I consider myself a Christian, and you know, developing a better relationship with God, and just reading the Bible, just talking about all these times when people were given success and then brought back to the ground, you know, all that type of stuff. You know, just to always stay humble and grounded, you know, no matter what. You know, fame is cool and all that, but being a good person is a lot more important.
You have the opportunity, a very unique opportunity on your basketball team, at least from where I sit. You have kids that come from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life. How do you build that team with so much diversity on your team?
I just have a passion for kids. And I knew that when I took the job at Grand Island Senior High, that we were going to be incredibly diverse. And I got an opportunity early on in my career to take in a kid, an African-American kid that had a tough situation, and trying to provide a better situation for him also really allowed me to grow as a person. When I grew up in a family where my parents had 4 kids by the time they were 23, 24 years old. You know, and so a lot of the struggles that I see from some of our kids from a financial standpoint and those types of things are things that I dealt with as a kid as well. And so I can relate in some capacity. But what we did the first 3 years is we just really tried to teach through love. And we wanted to get everybody on the same page. And it didn't matter where we came from or who we came from, that we were one. And we really just tried to implement that into our program. And our kids love each other. And I think you can see that with the way that they play.
All the diversity we have here, you know, different you know, ethnicities and all that stuff. I think that's really cool to be able to go to school with a lot of different people of, you know, different races and all that stuff, to develop a relationship with them, you know, for down the road. You know, in life, not everybody's going to be the same, you know, ethnicity as you.
You know, you don't get an opportunity to coach such a great program like Grand Island Senior High and something with great tradition. I mean, you look around here and you see the banners on the wall, and there's just such great tradition. And then I also get to do it in my backyard. My family's all around here, and they get to watch me every single night, and they get to watch our teams grow. You're representing something bigger than yourself. And when you put an Islander basketball jersey on, or an Islander football jersey, or Islander wrestling, whatever you put on, you are representing the brand.
You know, it's always a fun time. You know, we're never, you know, uptight or anything before games. You know, we have a good culture here for sure. And, you know, everything's enjoyable. Every bus trip, every practice, all that stuff, you know, we're always laughing, joking around and all that stuff. And then, you know, when the games come, we're locked in, but it's just a really fun time and a really fun atmosphere.
They're representing something bigger than themselves. And so that's what we want to see them do. And we're proud of it. We're proud of what we've created. We're proud of being Islanders. We'll continue to support that in every way that we can.